How we all doing? Thank you for joining me. This is Ian Blackburn at Zoom into Wine. It's Wednesday night, just about 7 o'clock, and a beautiful time of year here in Los Angeles. A little toasty today, but um, a really pretty night sky. I hope you guys are enjoying it. A lot going on in the world, but we're here tonight to talk about fantastic wine, and we get some great people together every Wednesday night and Zoom about wine. Tonight, we're zooming into Oregon. So let's get rocking and rolling. We are live on YouTube. I want to make sure my volume is off. There we go. Good job. Let's go. It's like my Phillies and Dodgers are about to take off. I can hear the YouTube in the background, so let me fix that. That's not supposed to happen. Here we go. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? You guys all right? All right. Here we go. Now, I started preparing this program tonight a few months ago when the revelation came that we could make a trip to Oregon in February. And so I'll tell you about that a little bit more in a minute. And I put together some really top wines here for us to review and to discuss. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. Wine number one is a recent addition to us here at the Merchant of Wine. I've known about this producer for a very long time and have purchased a lot of their wine, whether I'm at a restaurant or from other retail stores. There's a lot of different wines that we would love to carry from them. They're a very popular house. And let me just give you a little bit of insight about them. This particular offering comes from a Willamette, so it's a blend of different sources. It's called Wild Bee, and they make a couple different iterations of Chardonnay. But here's a look at the entire Willamette, northern part of Oregon, just south of Portland, basically, north of Eugene. And you've got these different I believe it's seven different appellation that striate across the Willamette Valley. And so if it says Willamette, it could be a blend of several AVAs. The Big Table Farm has both an atelier, a little tasting room where people can visit, but also they occasionally allow people to the farm. And they are a 70-acre farmland and they've done some really great work. Let me give you a little bit of context and go to the video that they have on their website. I'm hoping the audio comes through here. Can everybody see it okay and
There's
hear
lots of
that?
opportunities to make things happen that are different than the ways that things have always been done. Not everyone's cut out for that. That's something that takes, we'll say courage is the word to describe the person who steps out of line and takes a different path.
2005, that seminal morning, it should burned in my mind. It was like a month after we got married. And Brian literally rolled over in bed on a Saturday morning and said, we're sleeping in our chance to pursue our dreams. We got to put the house on the market. This housing thing's not going to last.
We found this place. It was way bigger than we anticipated. It was tight in the very beginning.
I literally had $4,000 to get us through about the next 6 months. So when Brian said, I want to buy this fruit, I was like, with what money?
So Claire and I started this with just 150 cases, and every year just sort of slowly made more as we could afford.
Brian just started. He just bought these grapes, and the horse was out of the barn. So we have to figure it all out and figure out how to do a mailing list and build a website and do all these things, which we did. We figured it all out, and we we put one foot in front of the other and we just kept working on it.
Whenever you make something and put it out for consumption by others, whether it's art or wine or food, you're taking a risk. You're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. I think that's just the nature of being a creative person. Are there moments when I feel like it's as good as it could be? There's always a striving for that. But quite frankly, I'm not sure that it ever really exists. So, which is why we keep doing it.
It's always staggering that people are going to drive down to see us because it's a 5 mile gravel road and it's in the middle of nowhere. And people come and they get it right away. They come into the space, they see my art and they taste Brian's and they take something really special away. And people see a different way of growing food or preparing food. We grow and produce what we love to eat and drink. That has been our ethos since day one. That's it. You know, there's not a lot to hide behind. Here it all is. It's just right here. The same as Brian's winemaking. It's very straightforward. Brian's wines are exactly like he is.
The wine that we make is an honest reflection of who we are. You get to see this raw material, these grapes come in and then transform them into something that's complementary to food and life, really. And I think that's really sort of the fundamental aspect of my personality that has led me to who I am today.
When Brian and I cooked up this idea, when this dream started in Napa and we sold our house, we moved to Oregon and we built this winery, we sought this place out because we wanted more space and creative freedom where I could have a studio and a place to paint and animals and things that fed us. So on paper, we've done everything we set out to do 12 years ago. We've built a winery, we've built a successful business, we have amazing customers. Brian's making crazy great wines.
If 12 years ago you said that this painted this picture and said this is where you'll be, I don't think that I would have believed you.
That's not something that happens overnight. I've made so many mistakes and I've definitely learned the hard way. And when you come out the other side of allowing yourself to learn something the hard way, man, do you own it? You know, no one can take that away from you. So now here we are, but we never stop.
You can't just freeze. You still have to keep moving forward.
I mean, you can't give up. Like giving up was not an option. When you're running the race, there's all that energy.
Come on. Looks like it's frozen.
That's happening while you're running the race, and then you get to the end and you basically have to pick a new goal line. It's going to take us longer than it takes most people to plant a vineyard. I'm okay with that. We picked this property because we believed in it, but we don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see.
All right, so this long end of that story is they did end up planting that vineyard, and there's some great videos on the website at Big Table Farm showing you some of the beautiful work and the real cautious steps that they've taken, bringing this special machine where they could burn all that foliage without releasing bad gases and CO2, and turning that foliage into carbon, which they then planted back in the soil. So, I mean, I just love some of the bold steps that they took, and really, you know, some of the struggles that they figured out to get there. Let's see, I just closed my slideshow on accident, so let me back out of that. I hope you guys enjoy the Chardonnay. And I'm going to get my slideshow back open here. Here we go. So it's 2022. And not sure how many of you've been to Oregon. It is like visiting another country compared to what we feel like down here sometimes. It's beautiful. It's both rugged and raw, but also refined and really bountiful. And I love the fact that all their labels are done by his wife, and she's really the master of the property. He's the farmer, he's the winemaker, but she really has a lot of responsibilities for the management of the business and the execution of some of the things that they've done. So a really great team partnership. Their wines remain very affordable, and they're very true. So Chardonnay, always leans into that apple pear type of notion. This remains fairly probably unoaked, maybe a light amount of oak or partial oak treatments, like 10, 15, 20% of it may have seen some wood. When Oregon first tried Chardonnay, they first planted the wrong type of Chardonnay, late ripening Chardonnay. And that just did not work for the Oregon ecosystem and environment. So they've given it another push, and they came at Chardonnay with some earlier ripening clones. And they're able to capture more acidity. And they didn't over oak the wines this time. There's really a balance and a beautifulness and a firmness, crunchy type of apple and pear fruits that you can really feel, especially after tasting this one. You can feel that acidity continuing to drill. It's just a really fun bottle of wine. It got 94 points. You can see the review here. Hints of almond skin and lemon verbena in this review. Another look. They're very much a farm, and it's really a cozy feel. We're at $36.95 for this bottle of wine, and brand new to the website. I've got about 10 bottles remaining at this point. We'll move into wine number 2. We're going to cover a large spectrum of price points tonight. As Oregon is doing that, they've, of course, got to have a few wines that get people involved. There's some grocery store brands that'll push price points closer to $20. Then there's some elevated brands that we carry. We can still find some good values here. This is a wine from Salem Wine Company, part of the Evening Land Group, where they're sourcing again from various parts of Willamette to make this bottle of wine. This is Raj Par and Sashi Mormon. Their property itself is biodynamically farmed since 2007. They own 120 acres of vines, but not everything in this wine is promised to be estate. This is potentially has the option to just use your own estate property or to source the fruit of others. And the idea here is that they have a place for their fruit if they can't sell all their high-end fruit, because these guys do make a good amount of high-end fruit. I carry some of their most expensive wines, and this is kind of new in their value range. I loved everything about this wine. It's 100% Pinot. It's really got a fun presentation to it, the texture, the weight, the color, the concentration. I think everything delivers what you're expecting from Pinot Noir. You're going to get some great red fruits, both berries, cherries, some brown spices. And this is all in a bottle of Pinot Noir that comes in around 23 bucks. A top value from Oregon, and really a nice wine that you can just pop. And I even serve this just a little bit chilled. It is softer. It doesn't have quite the power some of the wines that we're going to taste today, but really fun, really light, really balanced, wonderful fruit features. I just think it's hard not to like that bottle of wine, especially at its price point, and something I would consider like a daily drinker, but with a great label and from a top quality producer and not available everywhere. So it's something I'm really happy we found, and a top value of the year for sure for me. Break right there for a second and check on you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Amy. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I really taste the fruits in this. It's very nice. This Pinot.
And it's
Yeah.
not being masked by heavy
No.
wood features you have to get through.
Mm-mm.
It's really pure and light. I think it's
Yeah.
like drinking a Bourgogne, a simple Bourgogne.
Yeah.
Doesn't
What
have,
would you pair this with? What kind of food?
my favorite thing to pair this with would be optimally some northern US, like Washington or Oregon River salmon or trout.
Mm. Or trout. Okay.
Um, and certainly some sort of bird would work out well, whether it's chicken, duck, or even quail. All those types of items would be optimal. Um, I love this wine right here with sushi. This is my preference if I'm going out to a sushi restaurant with a nori and wasabi and some
Hmm.
ginger. You can put
See
anything
that?
in there for me. And I love having Pinot and sushi. I think white wines could also be great. Champagne's also great, but there's just something about Pinot that really is my favorite jam with some beautiful sushi, especially tuna or salmon, but anything works with me with the sushi and Pinot Noir. I just really enjoy it.
Nice. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ray Marie, how you doing? I see you talking.
You would ask me that question after the last two games.
Yeah, I know. It's been
Not
devastating.
doing well. Woo.
Marie's a big Dodger fan, and so am I. We've lost two really gut punch games.
Yes.
We won't go into it too deep, and we'll pray for better results going forward. But
Yeah. I'm happier now. Now that you've given me some good wine to drink.
that's the way life is,
Yeah.
Couple reality checks along the way.
Yeah.
But I think it's all good. It's all good. I'm just going to be positive today. Let's go into wine number 3. I got so much to talk about. I want to get through it all, and I'm going to do my best going forward to try to keep these Zooms a little closer to the 1 hour mark because I'm getting some comments, but my Zooms are too long. So I do want to respect people's time, and I can get a little passionate sometimes. So we're going to get into one of my all-time favorite brands. And now I have more reasons to love this winery because there's a lot of things happening in my transactions with these wineries. Excuse me, I'm going to change my microphone's direction. If you heard any scratching or anything, that was me moving the mic. But I, I have tasted with this family over the last 10 years, and every time I taste with them, I'm like, oh, love it. Everything across the board. And they make some really nice high-end wines. And honestly, as a wine buyer for a store, you can get into a rut of just buying too much expensive stuff. And I'm always looking for the right wine at the right price. And honestly, it was my intention to buy their highest end wines because I love them so much. But then this 23 vintage came out and it is such a giver. And this is one of their least expensive wines. And it just did everything for me that I wanted it to do. And I'm able to sell this at a great price and have a true ambassador wine for Oregon. This is going to be a one that you can lay down. You could drink it now. It's really a fun wine. Again, the appellation here is Eola-Amity on this particular bottling, which you can see is in the purple. And in fact, it's down in here. I'm going to annotate. I think they're down in here somewhere with their tasting room. And it's about 45 minutes from Portland. We're going to go visit them on our trip. We're going to start there on Sunday morning. And then right next door is Antica Terra. And we're going to be able to do both of those. And we're going to have lunch at Antica Terra. Get rid of those little dots because those will be there all night if I don't. All right, let's progress. So now there's a lot of reasons that I have a great feeling for this brand, and I'll get into those as we go through this. But a new one is the winemaker. His name is Daniel Estrin, and I worked with his dad. His dad worked at the wine house here in Los Angeles, and his dad, with a couple of partners, started a brand called Red Car. And Daniel worked with his father, helped at Red Car, fell in love with the wine business. I think it was because of Red Car. And then he went on a world journey and he worked at Craggy Range, which I worked with the launch of Craggy Range in my old wonderful position at Co-Brand. Then he went to work for Ted Lemon at Litterai as assistant winemaker at Litterai, and then he ends up back in the state where he was born, and now he's the winemaker at the wine brand that I've loved for a long time. So super cool. And I've asked them if we can line up a tasting with him when we're there. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not, but it's a Sunday. It'll be in the strange part of the year. So we'll see what we get. But we always get something a little extra on our trips. Get somebody from the family or one of the assistant winemakers to taste with us, maybe pull some wine from barrel and do some interesting older wines. Now, this estate and this property is biodynamic and organic. It's 60 acres of vines. And they've got a really fantastic venue, a wonderful approach. They've been built for quality from day one. And this is 100% Pinot. This really pushes it a little bit into the darker spaces of Pinot Noir, a little bit more of that structure and intensity. There's no excuses. This wine is just absolutely spot on the mark. And they make much more expensive wine, but they didn't get necessarily higher scores, nor and if they did, you'll pay up a lot for a few more points. I just think that this wine presents itself really, really well. almost textbook-like in its characteristics, very Oregon, very balanced, very pretty, very true, very firm, focused, and concentrated, showing pure black cherries and black currants on a lively frame of nervy acidity with moderate tannins, mouth-watering acidity with fruit expanding on the palate, and spices like clove, cinnamon developing. Drink now or hold, 95 points. James Suckling. There's Daniel. He worked on the floor here in Los Angeles at the Wine House as well. And I'm looking forward to crossing paths with him. Look at their wonderful slope and angle. 43.95. The nose is just so restrained and so elegant. Much more of that spice coming out of my glass right now. Feel that power, that crunchy fruit skin. It's like biting into a cherry. And the length here, the intensity. This is the current vintage, is 23, which is an excellent Oregon vintage. Whether you taste it on the $20 bottle that we just had, really soft and fun, and you can see and taste and feel, well, a wine made for a little bit of time, but also just really fun. I think great wines are ultimately enjoyable early in their life. Fun and yes, I agree with your comment about the tannins. There's definitely some tannin here, but not overwhelming. And everything is the right proportion. That's what I think great wine has. You are able to enjoy it early and then watch it slowly evolve in your cellar. I don't think this even needs that many years. I think that, like, because this probably was bottled at the end of last year, maybe early this year. 16, 15 months in wood. So 23 to 24 and into bottle in 25 and into the marketplace. So I'm thinking by like January, February of next year, this thing just turns even another corner and continues to unlock. And we are definitely going to be sold out by then of this vintage and into the next one. I bought 48 bottles of this wine not too long ago. I should go in and re-up now. And I will do that as soon as I can. This is just really stuff I love to sell, and I'd love to sell it for a while. So I'm going to try to go back in and grab some more. So let's talk about a couple of trips that we have coming, because I have been in high gear building some wonderful excursions, and I've got a day trip to Ojai. And there's two ways you can join me. One is you just meet me at the first place that we're going to go. And then, or two is you get on a bus in downtown LA and we go up on bus. So you can, if you go on, you drive your own, you can leave pretty much anytime you want. If you're on the bus with us, we're gonna extend the stay out as long as Ojai Mountain will probably let us. And I say it that way because we're gonna go to the Ojai Vineyard and hang out with absolute legend winemaker at Ojai Vineyard. And then we're going to go to lunch at a great little picnic restaurant in downtown Ojai, run by a guy who used to run a really top restaurant in Beverly Hills. And he kind of semi-retired to Ojai. And he was actually in his first iteration of his career, he was in catering for big movie studios. And then he turned that into having his own restaurant in Beverly Hills. Now he has a chicken restaurant, Picnic, up in Ojai called Ojai Roti. And then we're going to go to a brand new winery called Ojai Mountain. It's at 3,000 feet, and that's a picture you're looking at. And we've got the place for the late afternoon, and the time to be there is right around 5-ish when you start to see the sun go down, and it's just incredible. You're 1,200 feet above the clouds, and it will blow your mind. And by the way, the wines are ridiculous. There's some very famous brands now planted out in this area, and we've never really talked much about the fruit of Ojai or Ventura County, but brands like Sinquanon or Sinanquanon, Sinquanon is how I say it, is is from Ventura County, and this is really maybe the next frontier for a lot of people to rediscover. So Ojai Mountain is at 3,000 feet, and it's something to behold. So we're going to do that on a single day, November 15th. And I'm here to tell you, you are the first to hear about it. And the tickets are on sale on the website right now, and nobody else knows about it. I will be able to take as many as 20, but that's it. I've got the next, I'm going to close my door because somebody's calling. And I'm hoping that's nobody that's supposed to be on the Zoom, because you're too late. Sorry. But the trip to Oregon is also now available, and I have explained that out on the website. And the way they do that is you just meet me in Oregon. I meet you at the hotel, which we're going to check into, and the whole thing is explained out here. Includes the tastings at 100 Suns, Domaine Serene, Bergstrom, Antica Terra, Cristom, and we've got this really fun blending session at Willamette Valley Vineyards, and that's something special they're going to do for us. So join us for a trip to Oregon. Oh, and we'll start with Holocene, which is missing from that website, so I got to fix that. But we're going to have dinner with Holocene on Friday night, the 27th, at a great Portland restaurant. We'll stay in Portland, and then we'll be able to bus out and come back to Portland and enjoy the city at night. It's just a little weekender, and you could come back late on Sunday night if you wanted to. All right. So other trips coming their way. I'm almost ready for Napa, but not quite announced yet. We're still working through the appointments. They're in harvest and things are a little tough to navigate right now with them. So we'll give that a little more time, maybe as much as 2 more weeks before that's finally done. But I've got my trip to Corsica coming soon, which is more of a trip to Sardinia with a little time in Corsica, by the way. And then we're going to go to Paris, Champagne, London to Kent, and then New Zealand. And this Sunday, I'm at the Beverly Hills Cheese Store. I've got a really fun presentation of wine, cheese, and chocolate. And every time we teach the class, the products change. So I don't even know what the cheeses are until I get there on Saturday. And then I work up the wines. I've got the chocolates, and I've never had a better lineup of chocolate. I've been sourcing chocolate from France and Italy and Spain and other sources, and really got some fun stuff for you this weekend. Wine number 4. This is the stuff of legend. Freedom Hill. This is just a really fantastic producer called Purple Hands. This gets appellated as, that bottle picture does not look right to me. Let me see if that's right. Poke. I'm going to have to get into the slideshow a little deeper before I can point out on the video where that's from. But this is Cody Wright. His father, Ken Wright, and his father's business, worked with his father's business for 40 years. Cody's now got his own brand and really setting the world on fire. Here's his venue. He makes some different single vineyard wines, each of them getting some really high scores. Not making a huge amount of wine, but trying to really set himself up as a top producer, and he's done so. That's Cody right there. And this is a 97-point wine from 2022. Notes of whetstones, graphite, pine, fresh black cherries, mixed berries, and tea leaf. This is a 2022. We have tasted prior iterations of this wine before, and I've carried the last 3 vintages of this wine. You can really smell, the first thing I smell is melody of stems. And when you start getting into the higher tier, you start using more whole clusters with the rachis, and that is used in fermentation, and it releases almost tea-like aromas in the nose. Really savory, really amazing. And these wines will take some time. You're growing grapes at a very high level here, which means really small clusters, really very few clusters per vine, very few pounds per acre. And this is $60. I'm not going to try. Oh, that says Willamette Valley. I wonder if this is just outside of normal Willamette Valley primary AVAs, because it carries Willamette Valley, but it is a single vineyard. It's called Freedom Hill Vineyard, and I'm guessing that that's just not in a particular AVA, or maybe sandwiched in between two. Therefore, just carries Willamette Valley on the label, and I will have to find out more about that. I did not ask that question. What do you think of this one? I think I got some chats lining up here, so let me read those and see. Ray Marie, is a fig comment on this particular wine?
We have a huge fig tree in our community garden, and the figs are now just ripening on the vine. And that, when I go to the garden, I smell, is what I smell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds nice. Are they, what type of figs? Because there's a lot of different species.
They're the black, like mission figs. Yeah, the tree is amazing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And
Great.
I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like all of these Willamette Pinots are a little bit deeper in color than
Mhm.
the Pinots that we've tasted from other regions.
I honestly, I think there is a depth and a shade of red that's a little bit more black influenced so far tonight. I think
Yeah.
it might just be the ones that I've selected here, but yeah, they're not lacking in color.
No.
I mean, you can see the rim is a little lighter and stuff, but if you look straight down into these wines, they definitely have their concentration.
Yeah, this is the lightest of the ones we've tasted, but yeah, the others were really deep. So, but it's good, good, very good.
Mm. I love how polished this wine is. It's got such a fun that there's like a different mouthfeel here. It has like almost like if a peach skin were described as kind of furry. That's how I would say this is like cherry with that same type of furriness to it. It's got that kind of plushness in the mouth. And really, I think that's something that the winemaker probably worked to achieve. Mouthfeel is really something that the winemaker can be responsible for. I mean, it really comes from ultimate great fruit and really good winemaking and really good control. But ultimately, the winemaker can, blend that in and tune that up and or ignore that and not even capture it sometimes, and that's unfortunate. But here captures all the loveliness. Got great color, great nose, really good body in the mouth, and then that overall impression is very high. So hard to take any points away from this. I totally understand the big score. And with that, I'm not seeing Cody right on this particular tour of Oregon, but it's yet another brand we could go see, and you just can't do it all in one weekend. You really can't. One thing about Oregon is pretty, you're going to drive for a while in between locations because these locations are not like in Napa where it's like almost like a mall where you go from boom, 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 tasting room, tasting room, tasting room. These estates are typically within a larger property with a lot of forest still planted, and that's really cool. Okay, we're going to move into wine number 5 and Holocene. Apocrypha is the name of this wine. There are several different bottlings from this producer, and if you looked at my store right now, you see a record number of Holocene wines. I have gone from being just a part-time fan to being a real gigantic supporter of this winemaker and a lot of his projects now too. Really exciting wines. This Apocrypha is carrying Willamette. They have a little tasting room in an old bank building, but they will be coming to Portland to taste with us at a great restaurant. So it's going to be a proper winemaker dinner in Portland with Carrie Alexander. Todd spends his time between France and Oregon making wine. There's a little picture of their tasting room. Carrie's not only the brand manager, but also the designer on the labels. And they make some really wonderful stuff. And their scores have been through the roof. Todd is formerly with Bryant family down in Napa Valley, and he and Carrie moved up to Northern Oregon, and he's making wines in both Washington and in Oregon. He makes some killer Chardonnay and Pinot Noir in Oregon. He makes some amazing Cabernet in Washington, and he's got his hands now on Grenache in both Châteauneuf-du-Pape and in the Southern Rhone. So he is quite a busy guy, and he's making some mind-blowing wines with some huge scores. This one got 96 points. tart blackberries and boysenberries, along with a burst of orange zest, black tea, and chai spices. The texture is silky and satisfying. The sinewy, fine-grained tannins. Every sip provides a righteous chill. Every sip provides righteous chills of acidity, like listening to a Pharaoh Santer sax riff. That's a very musical oriented reference that I don't even get, and I am a music fan. So Pharaoh Sanders sax riff. I'm gonna have to look that up. Does anybody know that particular riff or that particular sax player? Wine enthusiast. I think that's a fail. Okay, so let's see what you guys think of this wine. We're at 78.95, so we're definitely stepping up to the major leagues here. It's the 2022. I've carried this wine 4 vintages in a row. Every year sold out. Darker, denser. Now, here's what's cool about Todd is that somehow that fruit just goes bionic out of his glass. Really cool. And check out the length on that thing. 20 seconds, 30. His wines 2023 are also getting some big scores. Let's just check out the website, see what we got there. Holocene. Look at these scores. That's a good resume for a lifetime as a winemaker, and that's just his current vintage stuff. By the way, he does make this Sky Down Cab, which got 99 points. Here's his Grenache, 96 points. A white blend, 96 points. 97 for the Chardonnay. And the new 23 Yamhill Carlton Remoralis just got 98. So really a up and coming brand, very small. We're talking about 200 cases of each of these wines. So I put myself in a pretty good shape to get an unreasonable share of these wines going forward. And that's always the game, by the way. You know, in some tough markets, you can get anything you want. But when the going gets good, you don't necessarily get it unless you got it before. And so I have to have a track record with these good guys. And hopefully they stay good and I stay in a good shape with them. And that's kind of the long tail of the business. You look back 10 years later and you see if you picked all winners or not. Kind of shed the losers and gain some new ones as time goes by. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I think I'm going to save that one for later. That back in the jar. And now it's time for wine number 6. Also, because many of you are regulars, last week I said I would send you a wine glass if you signed up, and I blew it because I didn't tell Joe. So it's my fault. I owe you a wine glass.
Was that just locals, Ian?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, the local guys, we can put it in a pretty casual box and hand deliver it. But
I understand.
I know Joe's watching right now, so she just heard me tell her. I'm sorry, Joe, forgot. And it was my fault. I was supposed to have you guys put in a little code or something. And I think I was enjoying the tasting too much last week. We were drinking like high alcohol Grenache and Syrah. I got a little too crazy. All right, Coriolis. As I may have told you, this wine's made from Antica Terra, but this is not their primary wine. This is a little side project that she makes in Oregon. Um, this is a Syrah. Let's go through it. And Maggie Harrison is the winemaker. That is a look at Antica Terra. It is the ultimate wow facility. They have a very famous chef working there, and the real deal is to go there for their lunch, which is what we're going to do. Now, at lunch, you don't just taste the wines of Antica Terra, you taste the wines of Antica Terra and the wines that inspired them. So there'll be French wines, Spanish wines, wines of the world poured with lunch. Lunch is not a 2 hour program, it's about a three and a half hour program, and really special. And this brand has done a great job. They sell everything they make. I do not get to buy Antica Terra for Merchant of Wine because we're a retailer. They only sell it to restaurants, and that's all they have enough wine for. Um, but they made this Coriolis, and it gives us a chance to buy something and they donate 100% of the proceeds from Coriolis to charity. So now Maggie Harrison worked at the brand Cinquenon before, and so some Syrah became available for her to work with, and so she's took a little swing at Syrah, and there's a picture of Maggie. Got 95 points. Oh, I gave her 95 points. Look at that. Blue and black fruits, lush, rich, and ready to rock your world. Let's take a look at it and see how it's doing today, because that was a good couple of years ago. We've had this in our library now for a couple of seasons. 2019. Some really nice, almost kiss of balsamic on the nose. Really just that little note. And then some beautiful deep blackberry, blueberry. That nose is really enticing. Now with 6 years, probably 5.5, this wine's really getting wonderful secondary characteristics to evolve here. There's also just like a little bit of a mellowing of, the tannins and everything starting to get combined. I think it's really showing well. I think 95 points is a pretty fair score here. And she's a really awesome winemaker. And, the Cinquenon wines sell for $295 off the mailing list and go for $500 the day that they're released. So the Cinquenon wines carry quite a bit of weight and power, and this one's got a little bit more elegance to it. Some really neat like grilled meats and savory things coming off of this thing too. It's quite complex. Hey, next week we're going to do something kind of a little different. I'm calling it a pizza party. I'm going to have a pizza here. I want everybody else to have something to eat with me because I'm going to try to eat and talk and present. Grab some pizza, grab whatever you want. I'm going to do some wines with pizza. I'm going to do just a real basic pizza. I like mushroom. Might have some sausage. Might have some olive. Those are all like wonderful wine connections. I'm making my mouth water talking about it. Um, and I want to have some fun wines with pizza. So we're going to go through the lineup of wines, and you can see the wines that we're going to taste. I got a really fair price, $29 to taste next week. We'll taste the 96 point Moulin à Vent from Domaine Anita. Take a look at the Conterno Barbera 2019. These wines get really fun with a little bit of age on them, and that's getting there. We've got the Casamagoni, which is a Sangiovese cab, which should be really a knockout with pizza. The always fun, but brand new 23 Croniolo. We always carry Croniolo. It's a rock star from Tuscany. And I mean, I think the wine just keeps getting cheaper each year. It's just crazy how much wine that is for less than $30. And then a really kind of cool little wine that I'm going to turn you on to from Spain. This has long been a favorite producer of mine, Jimenez Lande, and these wines are so good. And wow, Grenache Syrah from Jimenez Lande will be awesome, and a little bit of Zinfandel. So that says out of stock. We're trying to get more in stock for next week. If I don't, I'll just sub it out for another Zin. But yeah, we've had a good couple of weeks here in the store. I got to be honest, we're on record pace, and that's not a bad thing. I'm very proud of Joe and the entire team. We are on a record pace this month, and we had the best August ever last month and the best July ever 2 months ago. I do think some of that was people buying ahead of the tariffs because of the type of wines people were buying. Our average transaction went through the roof. It wasn't a lot of transactions. It was just the size of them that was pretty impressive. And so we're very, very pleased and thankful because you never know when the world could change and things could get quiet all of a sudden. We've had those times, but we're very thankful to be busy, and we're thankful for you guys to be here tasting with us, and hope that you guys enjoyed the show. And I would love to know what some of your favorites were tonight.
This last one was fantastic.
Awesome.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was
Hey.
one of the best.
I got to be honest, that surprised me how much I loved it tonight because I was not here on Monday to do the jars,
Mm.
and I knew the wines were approved, but this wine is just getting better with age, and we ended up buying quite a bit of it. Now, Maggie's, she's making Pinot at Antica Terra. So for a small moment of time in the year 2022, we were able to buy this Coriolis Syrah, and for every case of Syrah we got a case of Pinot.
Mm.
Oh,
Now the Pinot flew out of here. I mean, a couple of customers accounted for most of the sales, but they were buying it faster than we could buy it back in. We were limited to one case of each per month. Well, 10 months later, I had 10 cases of Syrah and 0 Pinot.
wow. Syrah is wonderful.
So I knew the Syrah would be great. I just we've been slowly selling through the Syrah. There's some really bad jokes about how hard Syrah is to sell because it does take a while to sell. Syrah likes time, and
Yeah.
buying Syrah with a couple of years of age on it, and I've got a couple of them. And we tasted one last week from Santa Barbara that's just glorious, and they're both 19s, and I'm kind of happy to have 6-year-old Syrah in the store and to have people only find that stuff here now. So that's kind of the good news. The bad news is it was like, putting money into a wine for 6 years isn't a great business plan, but not
Mhm.
everything, not everything blows out the door. And we made good money selling the Pinot. So
Yeah.
Can you share who the vintner was in Santa Barbara? For those of us that live in Santa Barbara?
all right. Yeah. What did we do last week, guys? Do you remember? Yeah, I'll pull it up on the website. Let's see here. I'll just go here.
Wasn't it that wine that there's wine places in Lompoc?
Yes.
Oh, up there.
Yeah, it was the two women, right?
Yeah, you got it. Syrah,
Wow, very good.
Santa Rita.
I can picture it and I can taste it, but I can't. Yeah.
So a little known producer too. In fact, the winemaker herself is indigenous Indian from Santa Barbara,
Kumash. Yeah.
Chumash,
Wow.
and her wife is Spanish winemaker.
Ooh, what a combination.
So they're
Sorry, I missed that.
yeah, and so that's their label. And yeah, you didn't miss a thing. We got 34 bottles in stock. It is
Okay.
it is highly recommended. This is from Zodovich Vineyard, and I think I sold all of this wine that they made at some point. Like there were like 10 cases left, and I bought it all. And
Excellent.
I really believe in this couple and this wine, and it was the right type of wine to buy. And that's an 18er, by the way. That was an 18er, not a 19er. So
Oh, wow.
I
And
think I bought it in
Wow.
22.
what was the name? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, I thought you guys were looking at my screen with me.
No, we're looking at you.
Oh,
Oh, what a beautiful label.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can hardly see it, but
Garmin's Dream.
yeah. It's called Camins to Dreams.
Okay.
I'll
Cannons to
copy the link
dreams.
and I'll paste it into the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
so
what
much, guys.
beautiful.
I hope that you'll
Yeah.
consider getting some pizza and joining me next week for our deep dive. And coming out after next week is
Rioja.
I gotta also let you guys know we have only a couple spots left for the $29 ticket for Rioja. They subsidized this a little bit to get us a nice crowd. So we're gonna have a big turnout for Rioja. The wine list is great. We're gonna drink some really, Grand Reservas, some top stuff. We'll drink one of my favorite wines of all time called Capellana. That's a white Rioja at 120 bucks. And then the
Wow.
famous Tardonia will be in there too. And so $29 to taste the Rioja session. And then after those tickets are gone, they'll be back at 44. But that will be great. And Rioja's turning 100 years old this harvest. So as an organized wine region, Rioja wasn't identified until 100 years ago,
Wow.
Wow.
1925.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So that's our Rioja educational session. Then after that, we've got natural wines, Merlot and Cab Franc. I think our selections are from all over the place. Italy, Loire, Napa, Washington, and a $300 bottle of Aubryon Le Carme Zombieron, 99 points
Wow.
will be tasted. Our little Merlot showcase. And then the actual Rhone Valley will get its day in the sun with a really exciting lineup of top wines as well out in November. And we do have all the classes except for one available through the end of the year. That's our champagne celebration at the end of the year, because I don't know what champagne we're going to do, but we're going to do one bottle for the last. We'll send out a whole bottle of champagne. It won't be
Wow.
I don't think we'll have a half bottle option with the wines I'm talking to, but we'll keep the price as reasonable as we can for our champagne spectacular to end the year.
In this household, we're happy with the full bottle.
Good way, but maybe by the end of the year we'll really appreciate that.
Oh, yes, we will.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night, and as always, go Dodgers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have to say it since my team's out. So
Who's
Are
your
they
team,
not
Lisa?
out? Are they, Lisa?
I thought they were. I thought that you guys shut us out last weekend.
Who's that?
That doesn't matter.
Giants.
You guys are right there. You
I
guys.
thought we weren't in the contention anymore.
Well, the Mets
Who's your-
quit losing. They stopped
Who's your
losing.
team?
My San Francisco Giants.
Honestly, that could be true.
Oh.
Let me find out and I'll let you know. But I think there's still a statistical option that they could get in.
It's
Okay.
tight. Yeah, the
Okay.
Mets were losing every game and then they've come back now, but
they're
hopefully beating the Padres. But yeah, I went to one of those games, Lisa. It was a lot of fun as a Dodger fan.
Oh.
Yeah, you were one of the
So
ones
are
in
you
the
all
stadium.
are you all football fans too? Or just baseball?
I'm a 49er girl.
Me too.
49er girl. Okay. Okay.
I'm
I don't have time. It's 162 games as baseball fans.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have time for the rest? Okay.
And I don't even know football season started, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll be
Yes.
down there.
Week
I'll be in
2.
LA, Ian, for the Rams and the 49ers, and that's where I
Ooh.
get to attend your Pinot tasting.
Oh,
I'm
all
really
right.
excited about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right.
All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you all very much. We'll see you
Thanks.
soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.